Where should I begin? I guess with the fact that I'm in a makeshift bunker at the moment. Mistakes were made, experiment went wrong. Only had a little to do with me, but the short of it is, the world outside is a post-apocalyptic wasteland. How fun, right? I thought instead of lingering on the end of history, we should just kind of recap all of human history just for fun, right? I'd like to start today's story with a young boy in 1643 who just became the French monarch. This boy would grow up into King Louis XIV, an absolute fabulous man. Wouldn't you agree? But don't let these types of portraits fool you. Portraits like this, his moniker, the Sun King, and even the fact that his walk was choreographed by ballet instructors helped him to seize power over France. You see, King Louis was an absolute monarch. So in this way, he had control over everything, declaring war, the taxation system, and pretty much everything else, and didn't have to listen to the noblemen or the clergy. How he did this was with the previous explained godlike persona that he put on, as well as even not dismantling social structures, but rather giving them almost more special treatment. He would pamper the aristocracy in order to make it so when he did start seizing power, they wouldn't rebel because they wanted to keep this pampered lifestyle. But there is one person he did listen to, and that was Jean-Baptiste Colbert, Louis's financial minister, and someone could consider him a friend of Louis. He was always there for him while he was growing up. Jean-Baptiste was a mercantile. He believed that to increase the economy in France, you would need to export more, import less. Other practices that he had was stopping tax farming, the practice in which tax collectors would pocket some of the taxes they gathered, in doing so, making it so the crown was receiving less. He was able to stop this practice by about 80%. But a problem was that Louis kept declaring wars even against Colbert's warnings. Because of this, even though Colbert was helping the economy substantially, it wasn't enough to sustain these wars that they couldn't afford. This would leave France's economy in shambles by the end of Louis's reign. Now, looking away from France for a second, there were other rulers who tried to emulate Louis. This can be seen in England by Charles II. After the English Civil War, Charles II was put into power and promised to follow Magna Carta and give powers to the Parliament. However, Charles started to see Louis's practices and wanted to be like him. He wanted to have as much power as Louis had gained in France. However, it wasn't until his son, James II, that a lot of these practices started to actually come into play. He started to take a little bit more control over taxation systems in England, as well as running surveillance on the people. This was stopped, though, in 1688 when the Glorious Revolution occurred. In the Glorious Revolution, James II fled to France while being replaced by Mary Stout and William of Orange. It can be seen from this example that if the monarch is not able to keep his people happy, then they will not let him gain absolute power. This is why Louis was so smart in pampering the nobility instead of trying to dismantle social order. An interesting thing about absolutism was it was not solely a European thing. It was able to spread into Russia with Peter the Great, an absolute monster of a man. He was 6'8" when the average was 5'5". He was a great westernizing force. He wanted Russia to become a great military power. So after studying naval strategies in Europe, he was able to come back and start westernizing Russia. Besides implementing the military strategies that he had learned in Europe, he had forced nobles to cut off beards, forbade spitting on the floor, and many other Russian traditions. He wanted them to be more Western because he believed that that would help them in military efforts. And these military efforts were actually very successful, and he was able to seize power by being such a powerful leader and leading his people into new territories. So some important things in absolute monarchs are that they seize complete control over all aspects of their country. This included war and financials. Financials normally included new taxes, and the military effort was widespread normally. They used their military power in order to keep control by making themselves look powerful. However, with all things in history, it's a very fluid subject that would reign for many years and needs a lot more explanation. But I believe that my generator is starting to run low, so we will need to pick this up next time. Bye!